Call came just after lunch, while I was still at my desk. "Savannah, did you hire movers?" my neighbor asked, her voice edged with confusion. "Because there's a truck outside your place, and your parents are carrying boxes inside." I froze, pen suspended over paperwork. Movers? I hadn't hired anyone. My chest tightened as dread crept in. "My name is Madeline Pierce, 30 years old. And if you think you've seen betrayal before, wait until you see how it feels when your own family treats your life like it's theirs to rearrange." I sped home, heart pounding with each mile. And when I pulled into my driveway, my world tilted. A moving truck idled out front. My sister's car was parked crooked by the curb. And through my open front door, I saw strangers carrying boxes across the hardwood floors I had saved for years to afford. I stormed inside. Mom was in the kitchen, directing traffic like a general. Dad lugged furniture up the stairs. And my sister? She stood there with her smug husband, pointing at rooms like she was giving a tour. "What the hell is this?" I demanded. They froze. For one blessed second, guilt flickered across my mother's face. Then she smoothed it over with a smile. "Sweetheart, calm down. Your sister's family needs space. You don't need this whole house to yourself." My stomach lurched. "This is my house. Bought with my money. You had no right." Dad's voice rumbled from the stairs. "Don't be selfish, Madeline. Family shares." Shares? The word stung like acid. They weren't sharing, they were stealing. I looked at the boxes with my sister's name scrawled across them, littering my living room like landmines. And I realized this wasn't a mistake. It was an invasion. My voice came out sharper than I intended. "Get those boxes out. Now." But Mom just waved her hand like I was being dramatic. "Don't overreact, Madeline. Your sister's family is struggling. You've got this big place all to yourself. You'll adjust." Adjust? To strangers in my kitchen? To my bedroom suddenly repurposed for her kids? I clenched my fists, heat rising in my chest. "This isn't charity," I snapped. "This is trespassing. You broke into my house." Dad stomped down the stairs, his face flushed with annoyance. "We used the spare key. You gave it to us for emergencies." "This is an emergency." I laughed, but it came out bitter. "An emergency is a fire, Dad. A burglary. Not your golden child needing free rent." My sister finally spoke, arms crossed, chin high. "We deserve this, Maddie. You don't even appreciate what you have. You're single, no kids, no responsibilities. Why not let someone who actually needs this house live here?" The movers shifted uncomfortably, glancing at me like they'd walked into a war zone. I turned to them, my voice steady. "Stop unloading. This isn't authorized." One of them hesitated. "Ma'am, your mom hired us." "She's not the owner." I cut in, pointing to myself. "I am. And if you keep unloading, you're complicit in theft." That was enough. They set the boxes down and shuffled toward the truck. My sister's husband muttered curses under his breath, but I didn't care. I pulled out my phone and started recording. The red light blinked, capturing my parents, my sister, her boxes, proof. Mom's voice cracked. "Maddie, turn that off. This is family business." "No," I said coldly. "This is legal business now." And for the first time, I saw panic flicker in her eyes. My sister lunged toward me, trying to snatch the phone out of my hand. "Delete that, Maddie. You're not going to make us look bad." I stepped back, raising the phone higher. "You don't need me to make you look bad. You're doing that just fine on your own." Dad's voice boomed, sharp and commanding. "Put the phone down, Madeline. You're not dragging this family name through the mud because of a misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding?" I barked out a laugh, shaky but fierce. "You broke into my house. You hired movers without asking. You tried to shove me out of my own life. How is that a misunderstanding?" The mover shuffled by with the last of the boxes they had already carried in, murmuring apologies as they slipped out the front door. One of them whispered, "Good luck," before climbing into the truck. Even they knew how ugly this had become. My sister crossed her arms, her voice dripping with entitlement. "You're seriously going to kick us out?" After everything Mom and Dad have done for you? I lowered my phone just enough to meet her eyes. What exactly have they done for me? Forgotten my birthdays? Laughed at my choices? Sold my things behind my back? Tell me, sister, what debt do I owe you? For once, she didn't have an answer. Mom's tone turned icy. We're only trying to help your sister. Don't you dare turn this into some sort of betrayal. Don't I dare? I said, my voice trembling with rage. This is betrayal. And you've made it very clear where I stand in this family. At the bottom. Always replaceable. Always disposable. Not anymore. Their silence was deafening. And for the first time I knew they finally realized I wasn't going to fold. I walked straight past them, heart hammering but my hands steady. At the front door, I turned the deadbolt with a sharp click and faced them. You're not welcome here. Not anymore. Mom gasped as if I had slapped her. Madeline, you don't mean that. We're your parents. I lifted my phone, scrolling to the video I'd just taken, the movers, the boxes, my family caught red-handed in my living room. This goes to my lawyer tonight. And if you ever step foot in this house again without my permission, I'll make sure the police see it too. Dad's face turned red, his voice booming. You wouldn't dare call the police on your own family. I held his stare. Try me. My sister scoffed, her arms crossed. You think anyone will believe you over Mom and Dad? Everyone knows you're dramatic. I smiled coldly. Everyone will believe the deed with my name on it. Everyone will believe video footage. Everyone will believe texts and emails where you've already admitted you're moving in. I'm not the dramatic one here. I'm the prepared one. For the first time, my sister's confidence cracked. Her husband muttered something about leaving, tugging at her sleeve. Dad looked like he wanted to explode, but Mom's face was what stilled me. Pale, tight, scared. Please, she whispered. Don't do this. Families share. Families sacrifice. Funny, I said quietly. That only seems to apply when I'm the one losing everything. I opened the door wide and pointed outside. Get out. They hesitated, frozen, waiting for me to back down. But I didn't blink. Not once. Finally, they picked up the boxes and walked out into the night. I shut the door behind them. This time, the lock clicked like music. The house was silent again, but my pulse still thundered in my ears. I walked through each room, staring at the half-unpacked boxes with my sister's name scrawled across them. Evidence. Proof. Every cardboard piece screamed entitlement, and instead of rage, I felt something colder now, resolve. That night, I sat at my desk and drafted a message. Not to my family. To my lawyer. I attached the footage from the security cameras, the video I'd recorded, and photos of the movers' contracts left crumpled on the counter. My lawyer's reply came within the hour. Good. This establishes trespassing and attempted unlawful occupancy. Don't worry, we'll handle it. The next morning, I posted one photo on social media. Just one. The shot of my front door with boxes stacked outside, captioned simply, When family forgets boundaries. The effect was immediate. Messages poured in, friends, co-workers, even distant relatives who hadn't spoken to me in years. Everyone wanted to know what happened. Some offered sympathy, others shared their own horror stories. But one thing was clear. My family's carefully curated image of being close-knit and perfect was unraveling. By noon, my sister called again. I let it ring. Then Mom. Then Dad. Finally, a text lit up my screen from Dad. Take that post down. You're humiliating us. People are talking. I smirked at the words. For years, I had been the one humiliated, dismissed, erased. Now, they were the ones choking on shame. I didn't delete the post. I pinned it to the top of my profile. And for the first time, I realized my revenge didn't need shouting or violence. It only needed exposure. Their actions spoke louder than anything I could ever say. By the end of the week, the cracks in their reputation were everywhere. At work, my sister's boss confronted her about the photo, asking why her family was in the middle of a trespassing scandal. My mother's charity circle went silent. No more invitations, no more luncheons. And Dad's old golf buddies? They were suddenly too busy to return his calls. The golden family image they'd polished for years was gone. Meanwhile, I sat on the back deck of my house, the lake breeze cool against my face, sipping coffee while watching their downfall unravel through the notifications on my phone. Every time someone liked the post or commented, their humiliation grew heavier, and mine lifted lighter. At 8:14 p.m. that Friday, my phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't anger. It was desperation. Mom. Madeline, please take it down. We'll talk. We'll make it right. Dad. Enough is enough. You've proved your point. Stop this before it ruins us. My sister. Delete it, Maddie. You don't know what you're doing. I laughed quietly, shaking my head. Of course I knew. I knew exactly what I was doing. I was giving them a taste of the isolation, the disregard, the humiliation I'd swallowed my whole life. I typed one reply, just to my sister. 9 years you treated me like I didn't matter. One post and suddenly you do? Think about that. I didn't wait for her response. That night, I locked the doors, dimmed the lights, and let silence embrace me. For the first time, it wasn't lonely. It was mine. And I knew the real lesson was only just beginning. Saturday morning, I woke to the sound of pounding at my front gate. Through the camera feed on my phone, I saw them, Mom, Dad, my sister, her husband, all standing there like exiles at the gates of a kingdom they thought they owned. Mom's voice cracked as she shouted, Madeline, please. We can talk this out. Don't do this to us. Her mascara was streaked, her pearls missing. She looked nothing like the polished matriarch she paraded to the world. Dad, normally booming with authority, sounded smaller than I'd ever heard him. Maddie, you've made your point. Enough. You don't understand what people are saying about us. You're tearing the family apart. I nearly laughed at that. Tearing the family apart? They had been tearing me apart for years, piece by piece, while pretending it was love. Then my sister stepped forward, eyes red and furious. Delete the post. Let us move in. Or I swear, you'll regret this. I leaned close to the microphone on my intercom, my voice calm, sharp, deliberate. Regret? You pawned my trust for years. You tried to steal my home. You humiliated me every chance you got. And now, because the world finally sees it, I should regret you? She froze, her lips trembling. I tapped my screen and the gate locks buzzed, not to let them in, but to trigger the alarm. The shrill sound blared through the quiet neighborhood, sending them scrambling back toward their car, faces pale, eyes wide. I didn't have to open the door. I didn't have to scream. All I had to do was show them they no longer had power here. For the first time, I was untouchable. By Monday, the storm had broken. The post was everywhere, shared, reshared, dissected. Neighbors whispered, co-workers gossiped, even old relatives who'd ignored me for years suddenly had opinions. But the truth was undeniable. My family had tried to steal my home. The humiliation they once reserved for me was finally their own. I sat on my porch that evening, watching the sun sink low over the water. For the first time in years, the quiet didn't feel heavy. It felt earned. My phone buzzed again, one last voicemail from Mom. Her voice was hoarse, broken. Madeline, please. We've lost friends, respect, everything. Just take it down. We can't survive this. I let the message play twice, then deleted it. Because this wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about balance. For years, I was the forgotten one. The doormat. The scapegoat. They had stolen my birthdays, my self-worth, my voice. But not anymore. Now they would learn that some doors, once closed, don't open again. I walked back inside, locked the door, and poured myself a glass of wine. The lake shimmered through the glass walls of my living room, peaceful and untouchable. As I sank into the couch, I whispered to myself, this house isn't just mine, it's proof. Proof that I'm not disposable. Proof that their control is over. And when I finally powered off my phone, letting the silence take its place, I knew one thing for certain. They wanted me to regret drawing a line. But the only regret in this story would forever be theirs.